pleasure to introduce to everybody Dr. Carrie Hall, tourism consultant. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Joyanne.
It has
Hello to
been a
you and hello
while.
to all of Barbados. It has been a while, but still have my eye on you. You're doing wondrous things.
Good,
So
thank
congrats.
you. Well, I got to ask you before we get into anything, how is Uncle Wes? I hope he's watching.
Uncle Wes is better than you and I.
Okay, I probably
He's
figured as
good. Thank you
much.
for
He's
asking.
good. Okay, he's good. Well, I hope he's watching. If he is, good morning to you, Uncle Wes. I hope you're
Morning,
doing well.
Daddy.
Good. So, Carrie, I've seen you, and forgive me, people. I know Carrie, so I don't think she minds me to call her Carrie and not
Please
Dr.
do.
Hall, but she
I
is
tell
Dr.
everybody,
Hall.
Carrie is fine.
I see you doing a lot of things and social media. You have your page, Tourism Overhaul. And I will tell you this without giving, well, I have to give them a plug. Sorry, CBC. I found out about this little place called This Old House. It was just up the
Yes.
road from me because I saw you doing something on it. And I was
Yes.
like, wow, that looks cute. And I went. Spoke to the owner too. And I told her how I stumbled across the place was from your show. So
That is
tell
so
us
good.
about what you are doing these days with the tourism overhaul. And then we're going to talk about tourism in the country, where we are and
Okay.
where we think we should head. So talk
Yes.
about tourism overhaul first.
Right.
Love the
Just
name,
just
by
to
the
give
way. Love the
no,
name.
not at all, not at all. Just giving myself a little plug. Tourism overhaul. As you know, I actually exited the government service about a little over a year ago. And I have gotten into other areas of tourism in terms of working on various projects. But my heart always was you have to go back because I always feel that the missing link here is talking directly to our people.
Hmm.
And I believe that is the holy grail for tourism development is the involvement of our people, the inclusion of our people, where they feel involved, they feel understood, they feel heard. And in order for tourism to get to the next level, particularly with respect to the direction tourism is going in right now, with the modern day traveler seeking authenticity, seeking immersion, seeking to want to interact with the local communities to support the local economy. And I believe the way we have run tourism from its inception, it is more of a Sea and Sun hotel driven to operator driven entity. And I don't think we have involved or included our people in the way that we should. And I always felt that that was a missing link. I feel that in many ways, me who's been in tourism for a very long time, you're sitting out there and you're talking to the same people all the time in the room. You go to
Hmm.
conferences, you go to whatever it is, you're going to meetings at the highest levels and you're talking to the same people. And I always feel that the missing link around the table is the actual people on the ground. The most important P in the Barbados tourism product is the Barbadian people. They're the reason why our visitors keep returning over and over. And we have to involve them. We have to explain the tourism industry to them. We have to be able to create a space where they see themselves reflected in the Barbadian tourism mirror. And I just got it one day, even though this is something that I always wanted to do. And we started a lot of this work when I actually was working in the government in one of my um, areas of capacity. I would say which, but I just wanted to continue the work I think that we started, that we were on a good thing. Um, the Barbadian people with respect to tourism, there's still, even though they understand the importance of the industry, there's still a disconnect. And we need to assist in bridging this gap. And I said, I want to just go and talk to the Barbadian people, talk tourism. The reception may be lukewarm at first, but hopefully if I'm able to explain to them the type of tourism we're talking about that is completely integrates the Barbadian people, where it's a people-centered and an inclusive industry, and that's the direction the industry needs to go because that's the direction the world is going in,
Hmm.
that I could win some souls and get people to kind of lean in a little closer to understand the industry and actually buy in to actually become supporting the industry. So I started Tourism Overhaul and I decided, especially now that things are so bad in the country, people have lost their livelihoods, that let me start. I started first doing educational things like This Old House because I heard about Julia and heard of what a fantastic human being she was, how that
Hmm.
whole place was created, etc. And I thought her story was interesting. But I've also you know, what I'm doing is based on the platform of sustainability, sustainable and responsible tourism. And I was going down that platform, but I decided to broaden the base and just start speaking to Barbadians. If there's one thing I remember, we had done a survey a couple of years ago, and the visitors said that they would love to purchase souvenirs or gifts or products and services locally made, handcrafted products from Barbadian people rather than souvenirs for Taiwan and China. And they just didn't know where to find them. So I said, look, let me just start going around Barbados and talking to our talented Barbadian people out there doing wondrous things that many people may not know about, to see if I could create some pathways from the visitor, particularly the welcome stampers, to these individuals to stimulate some economic activity. So it is educational, it is about involving our people, it's about giving people positive exposure, it's about telling them about tourism. So it's a broad platform, and I am really, it's a labor of love on my part, because I can't believe I'm actually out there doing this, putting myself in front of the camera on social media. But it's a labor of love, and it's something that I hope bears fruit. It's only a baby, is 3 months old, but you know, I will continue along this
I'm
journey.
surprised
So,
that you took that route too, because you were never the type to be
No.
out front. You know,
No.
you know, you're never the lights, camera, action girl. Not that you are now, but you know you need to come out there now if you're gonna push the product. Now let's talk about products, because we know we're in a pandemic. We can't really rely on people coming only just for the sun, sea, and fun, and we need to rebrand. Now, I'm not sure what slogan they went with eventually. I know that was something that was being worked on. I remember throwing in my 2 cents, and for me it was Barbados, it's the people you meet. Point blank, that's it, slogan, because when you said it, it really is about the people, nothing else. And that's why people come back to Barbados more so than anything else. It's not the sun as much as you always hear. An interview, they all say, what do you like most about Barbados? Man, no, it's people. It's people. People are wonderful. The people are warm. So for me, the slogan would have been Barbados, it's the people you meet. Point blank, free. I would have charged 15 cents for that.
You would have given it to them?
Huh? Say again?
But you're absolutely correct. Because even if people come, because what we do is push Sassy and Sun. So even though they may come for our natural assets the first time, they keep coming back over and over because of the love affair with the Barbadian people, the unsung heroes, the backbone and heartbeat of the industry. And I'm talking our frontline workers, I'm talking the average Barbadian in the street. And I think because of that, our people need to take center stage, because they are the reasons, they're the heart and soul of this country. And so you're right, Joyanne. I actually was going with this is who we are, and then just showcasing everything in the ad.
I still think we need to fix a little bit about who we are in some corners, because there's some actions that are not reflecting as good as they should. You know,
I understand that, but I'm talking about our rich history, our culture, our food, everything makes us our green monkeys, little children walking about in school uniforms. That component, not the other side that we're seeing raise its ugly head. I mean, the true essence of Barbadiana, that we know that is who we are. You know, we're seeing some elements now that we don't like, but I think the true essence of who we are is a constant feature.
And it's true. We need to make sure that we do things to keep it there, and especially this generation, that it's not lost. Because I hear people talking about products, and I know we have a lot of local talent here that is not pushed. So let's just say I'm coming to Barbados. It's a pandemic. You're pushing with the welcome stamp, incorporating that. This is a place where you can recreate yourself. This is a place where you can set up your business. This is a place where there's talent. This is a place where there's the mahogany, Medford mahogany, without giving everybody a plug. You know, there are a lot of local products, whether it's sugar cake, cassava flour, even our good friend that we call the wax guy who does his wax figurines. There's a lot of talent here that we don't push, and we always talk about exporting. And we don't get to export, we just import, including the same seashells that you see on the, you know, the conch shells, and is it made in China or made in St. Lucia or somewhere? It's not ours. I know that this is a baby of yours because I know you worked on products before. Tell
Yeah.
us how passionate, where we are, what can we do to sell this country as a place where, I mean, let's start with Rihanna. Okay, that's vocal talent, that's that talent. But you've got so many other people, the guy, the little young guy, Maloney guy, the racetrack, sports. So we still got sports. You may not have been as good as Jamaica, but we got that. We have cassava. I know my sister does a lot. Selena Spice, sugar cakes, tamarind balls, the nut seller, different things. So I can leave it to you to explain what we could do, Gary. What
Give
should
me
we do?
goosebumps here. Joanne, you know, this has been my
Mm-hmm.
passion, right? Because I think we have to start first with self love, with loving Barbados, believing in Barbados, valuing Barbados, understanding that being Barbadian, right, is good enough. And being Barbadian, 100% uncompromisingly Bajan is how we're going to differentiate ourselves from the rest of the world, right? Let's start there. Then Barbados is arguably has one of the most diverse product offerings in the region. By dint of our history and our cultural heritage footprint is vast. The talent of our people, and as you can see in a lot of my shows, I'm showcasing the talent. And in many cases, these people are going in and doing these things without any formal training. They just got up one day and said, look, I like leathercraft, I'm going to start making some shoes, or I can start making furniture, and are making the best quality products that money could buy. We have to democratize and indigenize our tourism industry. And when I say democratize, we have to level the playing field where we create a space for everybody. Like right now is the year of inclusive growth. The World Tourism Organization, they just celebrated Tourism Day. And inclusive growth means nobody's left behind, developing an industry that benefits all. And that has been my mantra from the very beginning. When we look at, and this is going to call for a collaborative effort, which means we have to come up with a plan. We have to come up with a well-conceived plan for tourism development in this country, which includes civil society, everybody, community-based organizations, non-governmental organizations, private public sector, civil society, where we have to determine where we want, how we want, or the role we want tourism to play in the future development of this country, and the role it's going to allow the average Barbadian to play. Now, I insist that that tourism dollar must be infused into the local economy. Now, we've reached a nexus in the industry where the modern day traveler has changed. We find we're dealing with a more environmentally and socially conscious traveler who wants authenticity, who wants to immerse themselves in the communities, who want to reduce their carbon footprint, who wants to support the local economy, and they want local experiences. Now, this is the time for us. Visitors say they want local experiences. They're Barbadians, they're talented Barbadians doing wondrous things that nobody knows they exist. We need to be able to create pathways from these individuals that you just spoke of to the visitor so that that tourist dollar, or there's a more fair and equitable distribution of the tourist dollar across this country. We need to start to develop our rural areas. People come here, you know, in many ways we put sand, sea, and sun. A lot of the traffic is concentrated on the west and south coast on our beaches. We need to start to get a better spatial balance between the coastline and our rural areas and start to develop different types of tourism product in our rural areas in order to give our rural communities an opportunity to get their fair share of the visitor economy and to benefit from the prosperity that tourism brings. What I'm saying is we need to create a space for everyone, and it can be done. It can be done. We just need to work together to be able to make it happen.
Have you done an analysis, looked at other countries, other Caribbean countries, and see what they're doing, how they are coping with the pandemic, if they've shifted? Because it's not only us who rely on the sun, sea, and others.
There is no a shift. Like there's some islands like St. Kitts who's doing phenomenal work in the area of sustainable tourism. They actually won a global award a couple years ago, and I would like for us to get to where they are, because I don't think we even say the word sustainable enough. And this is the future of the industry. This is the direction the world is moving in. It's a non-negotiable, particularly what is happening with climate change. But we're looking to take a more balanced approach to tourism development, where we're not just focusing on profit and the money side, but we're also putting an equal focus on the people, local residents, to make sure tourism enhances the quality of their life and does not diminish it. And of course, equal focus on the environment, because tourism can be a force for good, but if not properly planned, managed, and controlled, it can be a destructive force. So whereas we tend to focus more on numbers crunching, unbridled tourism growth, more arrivals, is not just that. It's a quality versus quantity approach, where we're looking at the type of visitor that is coming, and we're looking at a way to find that balance to make sure that tourism brings benefits and we minimize any negative impacts the industry may have on Barbados. So that's just one area there. But other islands obviously are suffering like we are. I am seeing that I just went to a conference there a couple of days ago, and they're trying to make the shift now into diversifying the tourism products, because that's the direction the consumer is going in. So we have no choice. Now, I wish we diversified because we thought it was the right thing to do. But the consumer is looking for cultural heritage. They're looking for health and wellness activities. They're looking for food and beverage, culinary activities, community activities, eco travel, adventure travel. I could voluntourism. I could go on and on. So if we don't start developing those areas, the visitors will just look for somewhere else where they can find those types of activities they're looking for. And fortunately for us, the activities they're looking for are also good for Barbados, because if we have visitors who want to immerse themselves, who have the value and have a respect for the norms and values that the country they're going in, they want to respect the environment, they want to respect the culture of the place, etc., as opposed to just coming in and dropping litter, lying down on the beach, not spending any money and going home. Those are the types of the more environmentally and socially type of traveler. That's the type of traveler we should be strategically targeting and attracting to Barbados right now. So yes, the other islands I think are shifting, because I've been to a couple of conferences that were held by the CTO. I just don't like the fact that they keep bringing in foreigners to tell us that we should shift, and our food is great, our culture is great, our history. I want us to believe that for ourselves and have the confidence in ourselves of knowing that this has real value, and this is what we need to showcase to the world, right? And for Barbados, diversification is one way that we create a space for a broader cross-section of people to enter the industry and to actually eke out a living from the visitor economy on a year-round basis, right? Because right now tourism is seasonal. For years, from the time it started, 200 years ago. I think we need to now push that back and create a year-round industry where we could create more jobs, where we bring in more revenue. It enhances the brand more. And we keep focusing on arrivals, and we don't focus enough on spend. And when you look, and this is the level of critical thinking that needs to take place in the industry, where we need to peel back the layers and really start to study this industry and take a holistic approach to its development. Because when you look at the numbers, and we had record-breaking numbers in 2019, just like how the global economy, tourism economy, had record-breaking arrivals, 1.47 billion people. We had about 1.3, almost 1.4 combined between cruise passengers and stayover in 2019. But when you look at the visitor spend, there's no correlation between the people that are flooding into Barbados and the visitor spend. Our visitor spend has stagnated over the last 10 or 12 years. We're earning less now, I think, than we did in 2008. So one way, it tells me either this, that we're going after mass tourists who are coming and not really spending any money, or we are not doing a good enough job of extracting those dollars from our tourists. Maybe because we are not providing them with the types of experiences they're looking for. And this is where now, Joanne, it comes in, where we talk about the inclusion of all of the talented people you aforementioned, where we need to find ways to promote, to showcase, to create pathways from the visitor to give them the experiences they're looking for, because everything they want, we have. I think we have only scratched the surface of what Barbados is able to do and the opportunities we're able to provide to our people.
When you have, and you could probably better explain this than me, an all-inclusive hotel. So you get everything there. The umbrellas belong to the hotel. The beach chairs belong to the hotel. The water sports belong to the hotel. The craft belong to the hotel. You know, and then you dare not come as a vendor to do these things. You understand where some of the problems could start to...
Jan, listen, you're talking to your sister here. I understand this. The reason why all-inclusives, you know, I think in the great financial depression recession of 2008, where people were trading down and didn't have much money, and obviously it was very convenient to pay to go to all-inclusive, and they became very, very popular then. They were popular before, but they've proliferated. And in Barbados now we have quite a few. And I was always a proponent that we needed to cap them. We need to put a cap on all-inclusives, because they do keep visitors in, even though they say they send them out, but in some cases they send them out on their own tours, that the money remains within the company. If we are and this is why I told you, we need to come up with a plan, a well-conceived strategic plan on where we want tourism to go. A plan with an inspirational vision that everybody buys into and gets behind, a plan that has clear priorities, are the areas that are of focus, extreme focus, and clear environmental, social, and economic goals, right? So we will determine what type of tourism we want. We want an inclusive type of tourism, sustainable, one where our people are at the epicenter and where opportunities are provided for the man in the street to also benefit, you know what I mean? Where we don't push back, we don't let go of San Sea and Sun. San Sea and Sun is, we are in the foremost warm weather destination in the world, region in the world, the Caribbean. So people will always come here for San Sea and Sun.
But what can we add to it?
We need to push past San Sea and Sun and create other areas that don't necessarily compete with San Sea and Sun, but complements it. So the areas I just told you about, the areas that we can do very well, because we're not going to try to do something. Barbados has to be Barbados. We're not Dubai. We're not Morocco. We are not Argentina. We are not London. We are Barbados. And I believe that we need to do Barbados well, and we need to do Barbados to the highest standard we can do. Be very sustainable, very authentic. As I said, I want to attract a high yield type of traveler. So this is where the strategy comes in. We would like to attract a traveler, the type of traveler who has the type of spend that we're looking for, who will stay longer, particularly at this time with COVID. Because when you come for a week and then you get stuck in a room for 10 days, that's a problem. There's something that's happening right now, a massive trend in the industry called slow tourism. And it's in line with sustainability and everything else that comes with it, where people are traveling slowly. They're going to a destination, they're trying to cut out long haul, but if you have to travel long haul, you stay longer. So you go to a destination, stay 2-3 weeks, a month to 6 months. You don't be running around from pillar to post looking for all the attractions and being stressed out. You actually absorb, connect with the destination, go to all the local spots, the hidden gems that only locals know. You support local communities, you support local businesses, you travel sustainably, you travel by bike, or you walk, or you go by local transportation. You actually savor the moments and have a real holiday and get to really know the destination, its people, its culture.
But and you know that could be said to people, there people could say, well, you know, that's for rich people. Because in order to stay for 6 months or, you know, 3 months, you may, you know, they can ask you, obviously, immigration, how you paying for your stay. You got to pay for your stay and be able to hold your own for that time.
There are those people because we are saying that rich people are only looking to stay in a villa or to do polo or to do certain things, and some of them are. But the definition of luxury has changed, Joyanne, where experiences are valued more than material things. And I remember one time, this guy who has a tour operation company said, Carrie, I just spent the last couple of days driving this billionaire from the Middle East to every single rum shop in Barbados. He just loves rum shops. We went into about 11. He was dropping money all over the place. The locals loved him. He was just tipping everybody. His definition of luxury was that rum shop. You know, the definition of luxury is no more a Gucci purse or going to dinner on a high-end restaurant with a jacket and tie. The consumer defines what is luxury. So when we were talking about staying for 6 months, like for instance, I was standing outside of this old house and two people rode up to me on bicycles. I love when research comes alive, right? They were in their 20s and they just stopped. I was still filming. I don't know if you saw that film. And I asked them, you know, where they rode into the filming, and I stopped but still continued shooting. I was talking to them. So I said, where are you? The crane? Because they were on bicycles. And they're like, no, we're coming from Oystins. And I'm like, y'all rode up here? Yeah. They said, you know, we just came in, we're a month. We rode up here and all we were doing, they were looking for this old house and I told them they had found it, we were rented it. But they were looking for one of the, I can't remember, one of the off the beaten path places in St. Philip. And they were searching for that. And they told me that they were just riding around, stopping at every rum shop, talking to the locals, shooting the breeze, just, you know, making sure they were spreading the all over the place, and that they were riding everywhere they wanted to go on the island. So these were young people, and every place in Barbados is not expensive. I guess if you go work out a monthly rental fee with the individual if you're staying for a month, or, you know, some people be rich, but I don't think everybody has to be rich. The thing is with Barbados, being a high price point destination, Barbados is quite expensive. Is we think that it's expensive across the board, but an expensive or not expensive experience in Barbados, depending on where you eat, where you stay. You understand what I mean? So
like
it's not
like a local plate of food, and you're getting a pack on for like $10, $12. You get a good plate with macaroni pie, rice and stew.
Exactly.
All kind of things.
It depends on you could have as an expensive or as cost effective a stay in Barbados as you once you do your research, and especially these people are repeat, they know where to go. And now that you're talking about that, in terms of food and beverage tourism, they just did some research there. CTO presented it in the last thing I went to, and they're saying that visitors will pay up to $100 for a quality local eating experience. What right now is being charged $10 or $15 for. So we have to understand what's going on out there. Oh yeah, look.
There's a shot. There's
that's
a shot
there.
For those of you in Radio
people.
Land, we put up a picture of Carrie, nicely dressed, looking all touristy, talking to two tourists on their bicycles right in front of this old house that is located in St. Philip. For those of you just right next door to the Sam Lars Castle.
Sam Lars Castle. Yes.
Yeah,
and these are two young people, as you can see. They're on their bikes, and they have ridden from Oystins, and we're going to see more of these types of travelers who are very sustainably minded, very socially conscious, and they're going to be on their bikes traversing Barbados. Look out for them, Barbados, stopping at rum shops, stopping at little places, supporting the local economy, buying whatever they see at the side of the road, buying, you know, cutters from any rum shops, just hanging out with the locals and savoring the true, authentic Barbadian immersive experience. Wow. That is what we need to be looking for. And this is the type of traveler who is going to spread themselves out across the rural areas. They want to get down into the little nooks and crannies of Barbados. They want to buy local products. They want to eat in local establishments. That is the direction the industry is going in.
All right.
A lot of them are eating plant-based food as well, and we have to prepare for that. A lot of them are turning to plant-based options because, you know, we know that the meat and dairy production is contributing to global warming and climate change.
Listen, I mentioned that the other day to somebody who is a pig farmer who wanted to get into this global warming aspect of climate change, and I'm like, well, first of all, you may need to get rid of the farm, because if it's one thing that they're no, but it's true.
It's true.
People don't even understand. Some people don't. Sorry, my apologies. That getting rid, or should I say, lowering your meat consumption is part of assisting the planet in
Yeah.
terms of reducing your carbon footprint and everything else that goes along with
I
making
can
sure
make
the environment is
difficult
clean.
one for Bajans.
Exactly. It's difficult because, I mean, when we had
But
the swine fever, or we talked about it, the first thing that Bajans, and I can tell you this for a fact, they had the press conference, and the first question was, can Bajans catch this thing from the pigs? No, 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 no. It cannot be spread. Even if you eat the pork, is fine. Bajans were out of there. All they wanted to know is that they could still eat pork, and that was it. You know, and
well,
but
I
but
don't know about that.
we gotta soon wrap up. But I want you, before we wrap up, talk about Tourism Overhaul itself. Where can we find you? On IG.
It's on IG and it's on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you can find me there and kind of look out for the shows we've done, the ones
Just
we have
typing
upcoming, and
Tourism Overhaul.
Hall with H-A-double-L.
H-A double L.
H-A-double-L.
Right, there it
Yes.
is, Tourism Overhaul. You know, I like to do this quickly if I can get on. I've done this with the fire service. I've opened up because I haven't liked the page, Tourism. Okay. Oh, there you are. And there is Carrie. Oh, wait a minute. I liked the page already. I'm sorry. I did. I'm on your page. It's highlighted there, so I liked it, but I encourage everybody to go on Tourism Overhaul page, like the page, see what Carrie's doing, and she's doing a lot. We do need to talk after the show. I wouldn't need to tell you that, of course.
Yes,
I'll be calling
we do.
you. Yes,
We do.
we do. So final words at you, my dear. What do you want to say to all who are listening?
No,
Because people overseas are listening too as well.
Hi, overseas viewers. No, I just want us to be able to reset our tourism industry, to reimagine it, to build on all the good that has been done before, and understand that there's so much more that can be done in terms of including our people, in terms of diversifying our product, reimagining our product, and showcasing, telling the story of Barbados to the world. And just one thing, in terms of all the areas I told you that we could spread into our Africa, we very much have concentrated on the Eurocentric side of our history. We now need to focus on the Afrocentric side. And as we, open gateways into Africa, that is another area that we need to develop, along with quite a few that we just said, and Rosa and Joyanne that you just mentioned. I want us to fulfill our true potential and to find all of those areas that could benefit this nation, benefit our people, and do tourism differently, build back better. And I think our country will be unstoppable once we reposition our country to outperform our competitors. Barbados, I have complete confidence in Barbados as a country, Barbados as a tourism product, and the Barbadian people. So I will continue to watch this space, Joyanne. I hope that we are able to develop a very strong year-round industry that will, once we diversify the industry, the tourism industry, we can develop a year-round tourism industry that would also provide opportunities for more people to benefit, and we could bring about tourism could become what it is supposed to be, a catalyst for social and economic transformation for this country, if done properly.
Well, I'm going to second that, because as long as we have people like you around, whether government or private, and people who think like you, I believe that we can get a lot further. So hopefully we will see a lot more Carrie Halls in the industry, and because you have a lot to bring to us. We got a lot of positive comments on our social media page, on our WhatsApp we weren't able to share, and Carrie, your personality alone, I mean, who ain't gonna want to sit down and listen to you? I mean, I could sit down here and listen to you all day long, So
of course, we only scratched the surface today.
Exactly.
Of course,
so you gotta promise me you're gonna come back. You gotta
all
come
day
back
on this topic.
You gotta come back
because we need to start talking to our people to get them to start to lean in, because we will not be able to develop a successful tourism industry unless we put our people at the epicenter of our industry. It is the potential and passion within our local communities that's the key to the development of this country.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll speak to the producer, do a show, bring you, bring a vendor, coconut vendor, a taxi guy, people who are part of the industry, people who are on the ground,
Yes.
and let us
Yes.
then talk to them in one group to hear from them
And hear
on
them.
this show and hear them.
Yes.
And I think that would be a
We
damn good idea.
need to give
Can I
the
sit down on the
faceless and the
ear?
voiceless.
Just did. Okay, so
Correct. We need to give the faces and the voiceless a face and a voice. We need to start to lean into our people. And what's happening, this is the last one, around the world, is a lot of destinations are shifting from being traveler focused to being more local centric. Whereas before it was telling the traveler, come, this is a paradise, and we do everything to make you think that you're in dreamland. Now it's like, no, let's go and talk to the locals and see if they're okay with the direction we're going in and what do they want to see for tourism for themselves.
Well,
that's the only way we will remain a welcoming society, and this is going to work.
All right, we definitely going to leave it right there, Carrie. We're going to bring you back for sure. I want to thank you so much, for coming on the show.